Welcome to the QuickBooks Chapter 2 lecture. In Chapter 2, we learn about vendors. A vendor is someone from whom a company buys goods or services, either for cash or on credit or on account. When we enter a vendor, it is like creating a file for that vendor, and all transactions for that vendor are stored in that file. In this chapter, we will learn how to complete the following transactions: entering bills that you receive from vendors, paying those bills, or paying for a cash purchase where a bill has not been received or entered in the right checks window. In manual accounting, credit purchases are recorded in a purchases journal, and cash purchases are recorded in a cash payments journal. At the end of the period, the totals are posted to the accounts affected. As the purchases are recorded, the vendor's account in the accounts payable subsidiary ledger is updated for the new liability on a daily basis. In QuickBooks, there is a file for each vendor in an area called the Vendor Center, and the Vendor Center serves as the accounts payable subsidiary ledger for the company. When a bill is received, it is entered into the system through the Enter Bills window. The Enter Bills window is equivalent to the Purchases journal. When the bill is paid, it's entered in the Pay Bills window. The Pay Bills window is equivalent to the part of the Cash Payments journal that records payment of open accounts payable. For a cash payment for a bill not previously entered, you use the Write Checks window. This is equivalent to the part of the Cash Payments journal that records payment for cash purchases of goods or services. QuickBooks establishes specific general ledger accounts in each activity window to process transactions expeditiously and organize data for processing. As you enter transactions, QuickBooks automatically increases or decreases certain account balances depending on the nature of the transaction. On page 2-3 of your textbook, we begin the chapter problem. Create a Chapter 2 QuickBooks Practice Problem folder and save the Chapter 2 Kristen Reyna file to the folder. Open QuickBooks. Follow the steps on pages 2-3 and 2-4 of your textbook to open the company file, make a backup copy of the company file, restore the backup copy, and change the company name. The Vendor Center contains files for each vendor the company does business with. To open the Vendor Center, you click Vendors on the main menu bar and Vendor Center in the submenu. To review the Vendor Center, just as we said, click Vendor on the main menu and click Vendor Center. See pages 2-5 and 2-6 of your textbook for an explanation of each part of the Vendor Center. To view a specific vendor file, double-click the vendor name to open the Edit Vendor window. See pages 2-7 for an explanation of the 6 parts of a vendor file. To close the Edit Vendor window, click the X in the upper left corner of the window. To close the vendor center, click the X in the upper right corner. To add a vendor, open the vendor center by clicking Vendors on the main menu bar and clicking Vendor Center. Click the New Vendor button and select New Vendor. Enter the information for the new vendor on page 8 of your textbook. Enter your name in brackets, accounting service, and press Tab. Type a 0. Click the calendar icon and use the arrow in the upper left corner to navigate back to 2014 February. Then click a 1 to select February 1st. Select the company name in the vendor name box and press Ctrl and C on your keyboard to copy it. Click in the company name text box and press Ctrl and V to paste the name into the box. Then press Tab to navigate through the remainder of the boxes as you enter the information. In the Build From box, click after your name and press Enter to type the street address. Enter again to enter the city, state, and zip. Click the Payment Settings tab and enter the information from the top of page 2-9. Click the Account Settings tab. Type in the account number. Click the down arrow beside the Payment Terms window and click Account 6020. Make sure your name is in the Print Name on checkbox and click OK. To delete a vendor, select the vendor, click Edit on the main menu bar and click Delete Vendor. The Delete Vendor warning box appears. Click OK to delete the vendor. Double-click Minneapolis Electric and Gas Company to open the Edit Vendor dialog box. Click the Edit icon next to the address box. At the address field, highlight the current street address and type in the correct address. Click OK to close the Edit Address box. Click OK to close the Edit Vendor box. Complete the practice exercise on page 2-13. The Enter Bills window is used to record a purchase on account. Accounts Payable is the default posting account for credits, as this transaction increases liability. The account field is used to enter the proper asset, expense, or drawing account to be debited. To open the Enter Bills window, click Vendors on the main menu bar and click Enter Bills. The Enter Bills window has two tabs, Main and Reports. See the bottom of page 2-14 and the top of page 2-15 for an explanation of the Enter Bills window. To enter a bill, see page 2-15 of your text box. Click the Bill option and the Bill Received box. Click the down arrow in the vendor field and click Minneapolis Electric and Gas Company. Follow the remainder of the steps on pages 2-15 and 2-16 in your textbook to enter the information. When your box looks like the one on page 2-16, click Save and Close to close the window. At the Enter Bills window, click the down arrow next to Vendor and click Add New to update the Vendor Center while you're in an Activities window. Enter the information from page 2-17 into the window and click OK. On the Expenses tab, click the down arrow and choose 1410, then click Save and New. The window is ready to enter a new vendor. From page 2-18, we will correct errors. Please enter a new bill from Kuza and Carl Associates, the date of February 2nd, the amount of $300, and the reference number X-145. Terms net 30 days. Choose 1410 in the account field and click Save and New. At the warning box, click Keep Number. Click the previous arrow to go back to the transaction. Change the amount to $600 and click Save and New. A message appears stating that you have changed the transaction. Click Yes. Click the previous arrow to view the transaction. You will notice that there is a duplicate transaction in the right pane for $600. Click the Delete button and click Delete. You will receive a message asking if you are sure you want to delete the transaction. Click OK. Complete the practice exercises on page 2-19 of your textbook. A credit memo is a reduction of accounts payable as a result of returned merchandise or a vendor that allows you to keep merchandise for some reason but reduces the amount you owe. To enter a credit memo, at the drop-down menu, choose Williams Office Supply. Notice in the right pane that you see the transaction. Select the Credit Option button. Enter the information in the date, reference number, and credit amount fields, which comes from your textbook. Type the information in the memo field. Add the account in the Expenses tab. Click Save and Close. The Pay Bills window is used to record payment on account. These are bills previously entered into QuickBooks. Bills can be paid in full or receive a partial payment. To open the Pay Bills window, on the menu bar, click Vendors and click Pay Bills in the drop-down menu. The Pay Bills window allows you to select a bill or bills to be paid, pay all or part of the bill, and designate checks to be printed by the computer. See page 2-21 for a description and explanation of the fields in the Pay Bills window. See the steps on page 2-22 in your textbook to pay a bill in full. Click Show All Bills. At the filter box, click the down arrow and choose Nordic Realty. Make sure Check is in Payment Method and click Assign Check Number. In the Payment Account field, change it to 1010 Cash Operating. Change the date to February 10th. Click the check box next to Nordic to put a check mark in it and click Pay Selected Bills. In the Assign Check Numbers window, click Let me assign the check numbers below option. Type a 1 in the check number field and click OK. In the Payment Summary window, click Done. To make a partial payment, see page 2-24 of your textbook. At the Pay Bills window, choose Kuza and Carl Associates. At the filter box, click the down arrow and choose Kuza and Carl Associates. Make sure check is in payment method and assign check number in the payment account field and change to 1010 cash operating in the account field. Change date to February 23rd, 14. Click the check box next to Kuza and Carl Associates to put a check mark in it. In the amount to pay field, type 200 and tab, and then click Pay Selected Bills. In the Assign Check Numbers window, click Let me assign the check numbers below option, type a 2 in the check number field, and click OK. In the Payment Summary window, click Done. Complete the practice exercises on page 2-25 of your textbook. The Write Checks window is used to record a cash purchase for which a bill has not previously been entered into the system. At the main menu bar, click Banking and Write Checks. Make sure 1010 Cash Operating is in the account field. Make sure the Print Later checkbox is not checked and number 5 is in the check number. In the date field, choose February 28, 2014. In Pay to the Order of, choose Jeter Janitorial Services. Type 125 in the Amount field. Choose 6,300 in the Expenses tab and click Save and New. Complete the practice exercises on page 2-27 of your textbook. In this chapter, we begin printing reports that you will submit for grading purposes. You will need to create a reports folder for Chapter 2. I would name it Chapter 2 Practice Exercises Reports. To print the Unpaid Bills Detail Report, click Reports on the main menu bar, then click Vendors and Payables. Then click Unpaid Bills Detail. In the box that opens, change the date to February 28th and click the Refresh button. Note the dates are very important to display the correct information. To print the report, click the Print button. Make sure the PDF option is chosen. And then click Print. At the Save In box, navigate to your flash drive. Create the Reports folder if you haven't done so already. Save the report as Unpaid Bills Detail Report. To print the Vendor Balance Detail Report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Vendors and Payables, and click Vendor Balance Detail Report. To print the Vendor Contact List Report, click Reports on the main menu bar, then click List, then click Vendor Contact List Report. You can view an original transaction and change it from a report. See pages 2-31 for instructions. And follow the steps to correct the amount due to $4.50 in the box that opens after you double click with your zoom. Then you would click Save and Close here. To print the journal report, click Reports on the main menu bar, point to Accounting and Taxes, then click Journal. Be sure to change your dates and refresh the report before you print and save it.